What have you seen from Hodges that has allowed you to feel that he should be the starter individually? Independent of Mason, what about him?
He has not killed us. There's going to be enough pressure on Devlin just performing, so I'm not going to add to it by talking expectations. I expect him to not kill us.
That's Mike Tomlin. A low bar for Devlin Hodges, the undrafted rookie. Just don't kill us like Mason Rudolph was. I mean, look, they won 3 in a row with Rudolph after Rudolph returned from that concussion he suffered against the Ravens. But Rudolph was horrible against the Browns, and it was going that way against the Bengals. And Mike Tomlin pushing back against that pride. Chris, you've talked about this. Third-round pick devoted to Mason Rudolph. Can't bench him. Oh, we used a third-round pick on him. He's the heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger. Can't bench him. At a certain point, you have to say, hey, you know what? The embarrassment is offset by the fact that we found Devlin Hodges undrafted. Let's go ahead and use him.
That's exactly right. And, again, I always wonder in these type of decisions, ultimately, does Mike Tomlin, is he allowed to just, pull the trigger or, yank the carpet out underneath of a guy like Mason Rudolph? Is management saying, no, you got to stick with them? Either way, at the end of the day, this is the right move. It's been the right move. Yeah, they went on a 3-game win streak after he got the concussion and all that. But come on, let's be serious. We know it wasn't because of Mason Rudolph. Their defense was playing out of this world. It's been playing out of this world. They've been scoring touchdowns, setting up short fields. It was concerning to me and Mason Rudolph when I had to see them basically reorchestrate an offense to throw the ball 3, 4, 5 yards down the field. That's all the game plan was. And then after about 18 to 20 of those throws, okay, now we'll throw a deep cross for 20 or 25 yards. At the end of the day, Mason Rudolph's throwing is an issue. He's just a low-level thrower as far as NFL standards are concerned. And Devlin Hodges, again, not prototype, but he's had a lot of reps in college. He played good in the preseason. He did what was asked of him in that Chargers Sunday Night Football game that we had here on NBC. And then you saw last week, when there's opportunities, he hits it. He's a natural thrower of the football despite his size. And I think this is the right move. And as long as he does take care of the ball, he'll make a few plays and help them win games.
And it's an opportunity to audition for the inevitable replacement of Ben Roethlisberger whenever it may be. And his body may continue to break down. Not all of these guys are going to be playing into their 40s. Tom Brady's had to do that avocado ice cream stuff for years to put himself where he is. Ben Roethlisberger does not strike me as the kind of guy who does anything to enhance his overall health and well-being to ensure that he's going to play beyond 40. So it could be sooner than later they need a replacement. And they had a long 20 years, Chris, between Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger, and they finally drafted a franchise quarterback with that 11th overall pick in 2004. Maybe Hodges turns into their Tony Romo.
Well,
that's the last guy who was undrafted that I remember hearing. And we talked about this earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Who's this Tony Romo we keep hearing about? And he ends up being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Maybe Hodges is on that same trajectory.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, he's going to earn his right to maybe be in the conversation. You're right, when Ben Roethlisberger's all done, to where, again, is he the franchise? Yeah, he's going to have to prove that. But he might, at the very worst, end up being a guy that's a bridge quarterback for a while, too. The one thing I got to say is, Mike Tomlin, he coaches them tough. Everybody's always scared of playing Pittsburgh Steelers because of their physicality, and they know during training camp, is Mike Tomlin hitting? I used to go to teams after I would see Pittsburgh in training camp, and that would be the first things, where you been? I'd go, Pittsburgh. You go, are they hitting? And I go, yep, it was full tackle. It was like knock them down, slobber, hitting. So he brings that element. And then Kevin Colbert deserves a lot of credit, too. He's done a phenomenal job with the roster to where you see they don't need a team that needs a superstar quarterback to win games. Pretty good O-line, has some decent receivers right now, a few of them young and up and coming. The defense, the front seven, as we've talked about a lot, is very special. He's mixed and matched some free agents and some drafts in the secondary. So they're a team that doesn't necessarily, I think, need a superstar at quarterback going forward either. They can play kind of a well-rounded full team game and still get a lot of W's when all said and done.
You mentioned Kevin Colbert, the GM of the team, and he's been with the Steelers forever. Remember, he's currently on a year-to-year arrangement by his choice.
Right.
And if the Carolina Panthers move on from Marty Hurney, David Tepper, who previously was a minority owner of the Steelers and as a Pittsburgh guy, I could see Tepper come calling for Colbert. Things could get very interesting next year.
I hear
and it
that.
could be a position that they have to fill in the front office that's going to require a lot of skill and a lot of effort to keep loading up the cannon with great, great players. But still, Chris, it was 20 years with no Super Bowl championships between Bradshaw and Roethlisberger. Having that franchise quarterback is key. Hodges is going to get the chance to maybe grow into that role. And if they can't make him that guy, then they need to think about getting themselves into the upper reaches of round one and getting their next Bradshaw, Roethlisberger, whoever that next name is. They need to be thinking about it.
The Tua situation. Tua might be hanging around at the end of the first round because of his injury. And Pittsburgh's the type of team that said, you know what, maybe we'll take him and just let him sit there for a year or two and get healthy and everything like that. So that plays into this. That I think is very interesting too.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.